April 6, 2015. Aaron Leeson, a resident of Leeton, went to the police station to report the strange disappearance of his fiancée, Stephanie Scott. The couple was preparing for their wedding, set to take place in less than a week. Had Stephanie met with an accident or fallen victim to a more sinister crime? Welcome to Mysterious Case, and join me as we delve deeper into the investigation. The small town of Leeton, New South Wales, Australia, with a population of about 10,000, was home to 26-year-old Stephanie Scott. Stephanie was an English and drama teacher at Leeton High School, beloved by all for her radiant smile and warm personality. From a young age, her family affectionately nicknamed her Button Nose, reflecting her approachable and endearing nature. Stephanie inherited her passion for teaching from her father, Robert, also an educator. She was deeply dedicated to her students, spending countless hours preparing lessons and organizing extracurricular activities, earning her the respect of colleagues and students alike. Beyond her career, Stephanie was preparing for the most significant day of her life, her wedding to Aaron, her fiancé, whom she had known since childhood as a close friend. Their romance blossomed at Aaron's 21st birthday party, and from then on, they were inseparable. A perfectionist by nature, Stephanie spent months meticulously planning their wedding, set for April 11th, 2015. Every detail, from the wedding dress and reception to the honeymoon in Tahiti, was carefully arranged. She excitedly shared stories of her dress and menu with her students, revealing her joy and anticipation for the special day. In the days leading up to the wedding, Stephanie was busy finalizing last-minute tasks. She had just hosted her bachelorette party and was practicing the first dance with Aaron. Despite her packed schedule, she prioritized her teaching duties, ensuring her students were well cared for in her absence. Stephanie was not only a devoted teacher, but also an inspiring figure, always encouraging her students to chase their dreams. Her later disappearance was not just a shock to her family, but left a profound void in the Leeton community, where she had made a lasting impact. On April 5, 2015, Easter Sunday, Stephanie arrived at Leeton High School around 11 a.m. to finalize a handover plan for the substitute teacher during her honeymoon. It was a peaceful day, with the school quiet due to the holiday. Stephanie parked her car outside, met a colleague nearby to unlock the school gate, then locked it herself and kept the keys. She went straight to the English teacher's staff room, where she worked for a few hours. During this time, Stephanie sent an email confirming the bus service for wedding guests, a small detail that showcased her thoughtfulness. After finishing her task, she left the keys in her bag and exited the administrative area toward the gate. Everything seemed routine, with no signs of anything amiss. Stephanie planned to return home soon to continue preparing for the wedding, just days away. However, as the sun set, Aaron grew worried when he heard nothing from Stephanie. He had texted her the previous evening and that morning, receiving prompt replies. But from mid-afternoon on Sunday, she went silent. By 7:20 p.m., when he returned home and saw her car missing, Aaron tried to suppress his panic. He wondered if wedding stress had prompted her to take some time alone. But complete silence was unlike Stephanie. She was always open, sharing everything with him, especially as they were both thrilled for the wedding. This silence was the first sign that something terrible had happened, marking the start of a tragedy that shook the Leeton community. On the morning of April 6th, after a sleepless night, Aaron repeatedly texted and called Stephanie, receiving no response. By 4:30 p.m., with over 24 hours of silence, he went to the Leeton police station to report his fiancée missing. The police immediately launched an investigation, focusing on Stephanie's last known location, Leeton High School. Since her car was also gone, they hypothesized she might have left the school and had an accident, perhaps veering into a ditch or creek. Helicopters were deployed for aerial searches, while ground teams scoured the area around the school. Because it was Easter Sunday, the school was nearly empty, helping police narrow down potential witnesses. They checked the alarm system in Stephanie's classroom and found she had disarmed it at 1:31 p.m. and rearmed it at 1:38 p.m., confirming her presence at that time. However, no significant clues emerged after this point. The Find My iPhone service was inactive as her phone was off, and her bank accounts and social media showed no activity since April 4th. By April 7th, police appealed for community help via social media. A post about her disappearance was shared over 1,500 times in hours, drawing local media attention. Hundreds of Leeton residents joined the search, but hope faded as no trace of Stephanie was found. Her mother, Marilyn, told the press, "If we don't find her today, I can't bear to think about it." The community began fearing the worst, especially with her wedding less than a week away. The mysterious disappearance of a beloved teacher on the cusp of happiness plunged the town into grief and unease. Police returned to Leeton High School on April 7th using digital mapping technology to thoroughly examine the area. They uncovered notable details from witnesses. One reported hearing odd noises around 2 p.m. on Sunday, like objects being dragged across the ground near the school. This person also saw Stephanie's car parked under a covered walkway, but it later vanished. Though no one thought much of it at the time, this information became a key clue. Another witness, a school employee, recounted a strange conversation with Vincent Stanford, a 24-year-old cleaner, on Monday morning. When asked if he had seen Stephanie before she vanished, Vincent said no. When the witness wondered if Stephanie might have run off due to wedding nerves, Vincent let out an odd laugh, leaving the person unsettled. Notably, his face was covered in scratches, raising suspicions. Police decided to question Vincent initially, but he claimed he only stopped by the school to empty bins despite not being scheduled, insisting he didn't see Stephanie. However, he lied about visiting a store, as it was closed for Easter. Traffic cameras captured Vincent's vehicle leaving the school at 3:30 p.m., aligning with his stated timeline. The inconsistency in his story led police to list him as a suspect. They visited his home, where he lived with his mother. Though Vincent was absent, his mother allowed a search, and police found a set of keys with a red and white lanyard, matching the description of Stephanie's keys. When Vincent returned, police seized his car and discovered MDF boards in the trunk with bloodstains. These findings heightened suspicions that Vincent was directly linked to Stephanie's disappearance, opening a tense new investigative path. During the search of Vincent Stanford's home, police uncovered more chilling clues. Beyond Stephanie's keys, they found a used condom in the yard and its wrapper in Vincent's bedroom. Additionally, unfamiliar tire tracks not matching his vehicle were noted. When allowed to inspect Vincent's camera, police were stunned to find the first images, photos of a burned female body in a wooded area. Vincent calmly claimed they were from a movie, but police instantly recognized the victim as Stephanie Scott. Vincent was arrested immediately on suspicion of involvement in the disappearance and possible murder. During the car search, the blood-stained MDF boards were sent for testing, later confirming Stephanie's blood. These discoveries sparked pain and outrage in Leeton, where people still clung to hope that Stephanie was alive.
It's tragic for the family, it's tragic for the people of Leeton, it's tragic for the people of New South Wales and society in general.
She'd understand everything. If you had problems at home, had problems anywhere, you could just speak to her about it. She was amazing. Just want to thank her heaps for everything she's done for us, and we're still praying for her.
She was just such a lovely, vibrant person that fitted in with everyone and everything, and she was well loved by the teachers, the students, and everyone that virtually met her.
Vincent's phone and computer were seized, revealing a dark side. His devices contained numerous covert photos of female students at the school, including inappropriate images of a 12-year-old girl he had stalked. Police also found pictures of other women in town, indicating Vincent's pattern of stalking. He even kept detailed journals about potential victims, including abduction plans. These details painted a picture of a dangerous individual with prolonged, deviant, and violent obsessions. Police believe Vincent was not only involved, but likely the main perpetrator, accelerating the investigation to uncover the truth. On April 9, 2015, Vincent Stanford was charged with murder, though Stephanie's body had not yet been found. On Easter Sunday, Paul Halls and Brendan Lyons, working in a warehouse on Griffith Road, Leeton, saw a man stop by the roadside dotted with farmhouses and throw something resembling a laptop around 4 p.m. After hearing about the suspected murder of Miss Scott on April 9th, they contacted police describing the unidentified man in a white Toyota Hilux pickup truck. On the morning of April 10th, police quickly recovered the laptop, confirmed to be Stephanie's. Her red Mazda was found abandoned at the edge of a wheat field on rural land, about 8 kilometres from Leeton.
Police divers have joined the search for the body of murdered bride-to-be Stephanie Scott in the New South Wales Riverina. Nine's Natalia Cooper is in Leeton this morning in a touching scene behind you there, Natalia. And what's the latest on the investigation?
The search has resumed for the body of 26-year-old school teacher Stephanie Scott. Police are searching fields and a vineyard near where the young teacher's red Mazda was found earlier this week. Police divers are also searching a canal in that area, and it's believed they have retrieved a laptop from the canal. Now, you mentioned the shrine that is growing behind me. It's been visited by so many people throughout the morning, and so many emotions have been seen here. People are absolutely devastated, whether they knew her personally or they didn't know her at all. This tragedy has really affected everyone in this town. We know that her family and her fiance were here last night. They lit candles, they read some of the tributes, and they were clearly distraught and comforting each other. One more piece of information I have for you is that police are desperate to find anyone who saw this white ute believed to belong to Vincent Stanford, the man who is accused of murdering Stephanie Scott. They need to contact police urgently. Brett?
Natalia Cooper in Leeton, thank you.
Soon after, divers and search teams focused on the area near her car. The search expanded to Kokopara National Park, guided by photos from Vincent's camera. At 5 p.m. that day, just one day before Stephanie and Aaron's wedding, her charred body was found in a forest within Kokopara, extinguishing the Scott family's hopes. Tests confirmed she was struck 40 times in the head, stabbed in the neck, and died from blunt force trauma before being burned. The autopsy also indicated signs of sexual assault, though Vincent initially denied it. This discovery was the final blow for her family in Leeton, turning a day meant for joy into unbearable grief. The Leeton community held a memorial soon after. A temporary shrine was set up outside Leeton School, where hundreds came to lay flowers, light candles, and leave messages. Stephanie's family, including Aaron, visited to read the tributes, finding some comfort amid loss and thanking the community. Residents, whether they knew her or not, were deeply mourned by the tragedy. One local told the press, "She was a vibrant person, at ease with everyone." Stephanie's passing was not just a personal loss, but a collective wound for the town, where people once believed such horrors were impossible. Businesses across the town provided free accommodation, meals, and support for the Scott family and friends who were meant to attend the wedding, but now had to mourn her together. When informed that a Scott family member was checking into a local hotel, the owner refused any payment. Bob Scott, Stephanie's father, while shopping for the memorial, discovered a stranger had anonymously given $100 to the cashier to cover his purchases after seeing him in the aisle. Over $15,000 was raised for the Scott family on the GoFundMe crowdfunding page. While detained, Vincent unexpectedly asked to speak with police. Unaware that Stephanie's body had been found, he detailed his crime. He said that upon seeing Stephanie in the staff room, he suddenly felt an urge to kill her. Vincent left the school, went home to grab a kit, including handcuffs, a knife, Viagra, and cleaning supplies, and searched online for depraved terms like bride raped and necrophilia. Returning to the school, Vincent waited for Stephanie to leave. As she passed by and smiled, wishing him a happy holiday, he abruptly pulled her into a storage room. There he attacked her, stabbing her in the neck and striking her over 40 times in the head, causing death by brain trauma.
Now we spoke to you on Wednesday on the 8th. Yes. And we spoke to you about some scratches that I can still see on your face. Yes. Can you tell me where you got those scratches from?
Several of them are from Stephanie Scott.
And how did she do that?
With her fingernails.
And when did she do that?
When I tried to kill her. When I killed her.
When you killed her?
Yes.
Okay, so you say that you've... Can you just tell me exactly what happened when she walked... When you first... You said you were waiting for her to come out, were you? You were waiting for her to finish her work?
Yes.
Okay. What exactly happened then? When she finished her work, what did you do?
I picked her up from behind with my right hand over her mouth and my left hand around her middle. I dragged her into the store. I closed the door behind us, chucked her on the floor, and I beat her to death.
You say with your fists?
Yes.
Did she use any other weapon?
I did use a knife as well.
You say you got a feeling that you had to do it. What feeling? Can you describe that to me upon seeing her? What feeling came over you? Like, what did you feel?
It's that I had to kill her. I've had a lot of violent thoughts, but I've never acted on them.
Okay. So when you say you had a lot of violent thoughts, can you describe to me what those thoughts have been?
Killing various people I've met.
Yep.
Hurting them. That's about it, really.
And is there any reason why you wanted to kill these people or hurt these people?
No, I think I might have some mental problems, but I've never done anything to me to deserve it.
Are you able to tell me why you got angry at Stephanie and why you wanted to kill her?
I didn't really feel anger, I just wanted to kill her.
Oh, so you didn't feel anger?
No, I
You just
feel a
wanted
lot
to
of
kill her?
emotion.
Okay. So you just wanted to kill her?
Yes.
Can you tell me why you wanted to kill her?
No, I think it's just my mental health acting up again.
Afterward, Vincent left her body in the room and drove home for lunch as if nothing happened. He later returned, moved Stephanie's body to her car's trunk, cleaned the scene, and drove to his house, parking outside while chatting with his mother and brother. In the early hours of Easter Monday, Vincent drove Stephanie's car to Cocopera National Park, 60 miles from Leeton. There, he stripped her clothes, doused her with gasoline, and burned her body to destroy evidence. He admitted to photographing the body as a memento and keeping some of her personal items.
Okay, so when you've taken her out of the boot, did you take the clothes off her in the boot, or did you take clothes off her in the ground?
On the ground.
On the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, she had, at this stage, there was a lot of blood, and did she have injuries to her face? Did you notice any swelling or...?
Yeah, the right side of her face.
Yep. It's quite...
Up near her eye.
Yep. And that's from when you punched her when she was on the ground? Okay. Then did you use match to light the fire, or did you use cigarette?
Put some petrol on a stick, and I lit a match on that.
Yep.
And I chucked the stick on there.
Yep. And where did the match, what about the match, where did you put it?
I think it's still there, probably.
Did you throw that in the fire, or just drop it?
No, I dropped it where the stick was.
Okay. Is that far away from the body, or?
No.
No. No. So when you travelled, did you stay around long to watch your body burn, or?
No, I left straight away.
You left straight away?
Yeah, it was well light. It took a second. Petrol starts fast, so.
Yeah. Okay.
On your camera, you had 2 photos of the deceased body.
Yes.
Are those photographs of Stephanie?
Yes.
Can you tell me why you took those photographs of Stephanie?
No.
Yeah. Why did you keep the bra? Like, you've disposed of everything else, why the bra?
I honestly don't know.
Don't know?
Maybe I wanted a souvenir.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something to remember it by.
Probably, but I had no real reason to keep it.
Why the bra though? Why not any other item?
I think it was clean.
Did you wash the bra?
I chucked it in the washing once, yeah.
At home or at school?
At home.
At home. Okay. What about her earrings, engagement ring?
Don't know, I might have taken that off earlier.
Earlier? Where did you take those off?
Probably when I was at home with her. And, no. When I went and collected all her stuff at the high school. Would have been. Not her earrings though.
But her engagement ring, you remember taking that?
Yeah.
Where
The high school.
Where'd you put her engagement ring?
Don't know. Chucked so much stuff out.
Yep. So you got rid of that with her clothes, did you, or?
I would have chucked it in a bin somewhere when I chucked everything else out, but...
So did you sexually assault Stephanie?
No.
While she was alive?
No.
Or deceased?
No.
Vincent's cold confession, paired with his indifferent demeanor, horrified investigators. It not only confirmed the crime, but exposed his profound cruelty and psychological disturbance. Vincent Stanford, 24, was born in Australia but spent much of his childhood in the Netherlands before returning to New South Wales. From a young age, he displayed troubling behavior. Vincent told police he fantasized about killing someone at age 7 and choked a teacher at 12. Classmates called him psycho for his violent outbursts. He attended a behavioral school where he was diagnosed with autism and oppositional defiant disorder. After leaving a juvenile psychiatric center, Vincent failed to enter university or the military, leading to odd jobs before becoming a cleaner at Leeton High School. Though hired on a 5-week contract, he was retained longer. At the school, Vincent engaged in stalking, particularly targeting a 12-year-old student, taking nearly 2,000 photos of her and documenting her routines. He also followed 2 other women in town, revealing a prolonged pattern of dangerous behavior before attacking Stephanie. Police concluded Vincent initially intended to target the 12-year-old, but when that plan failed, he turned to Stephanie. Later, psychological evaluations described Vincent as a serial killer in the making, devoid of emotion, unremorseful, and prone to perverse violence. The truth about his past and psyche chilled the community, raising questions about how someone like him could work near students without earlier detection. On June 10, 2015, police arrested Marcus Stanford, Vincent's twin brother, at his home in Adelaide. Marcus was accused of aiding and covering up the crime by receiving and selling Stephanie's wedding and graduation rings and destroying her driver's license. These items were sent to Marcus by Vincent after the murder, indicating his complicity in concealing evidence. Marcus, living separately from Vincent and working at a flower farm in Adelaide, was reserved with colleagues. When arrested, he claimed ignorance of the murder, but his actions in selling the rings and destroying documents suggested he knew their illicit origin. The Adelaide Hills community was shocked that such a horrific case touched their quiet neighborhood. Marcus was taken to Leeton for trial, facing charges as an accessory after the fact. On April 8, 2015, Marcus texted his twin brother, Vincent Stanford, saying he would send an envelope containing Stephanie's engagement ring, graduation ring, and driver's license for safekeeping. On Saturday, May 9th, Marcus visited Adelaide Exchange Jewelry and sold Miss Scott's rings for $705. On May 30th, during police questioning, Marcus denied ever receiving mail from his brother. By this time, he had also deleted the text messages exchanged between him and Vincent. On March 31, 2016, Marcus pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 15 months in prison for being an accessory and destroying evidence. Having served time before the trial, he was released in October 2016.
However, I have determined that there is no practical purpose in allowing for a parole period at all in the sentence I will impose. Would you stand up, please, Mr. Stanford? For the offence of being an accessory after the fact to the murder of Stephanie Scott, you are convicted. You are sentenced to imprisonment for a fixed term of 1 year and 3 months. The sentence is to date from the 10th of June 2015 and will expire on the 9th of September 2016. Without your plea of guilty, it would have been a sentence of 1 year and 8 months.
Leeton's community was outraged at the lenient sentence, gathering nearly 60,000 signatures to appeal, calling it disappointing. Marcus briefly returned to Leeton, but was shunned by residents, forcing him to leave. Their father, Steve, expressing horror and refusing to understand Vincent's motives. Marcus's involvement deepened the Scott family's pain as they realized 2 people contributed to their tragedy. In July 2016, Vincent Stanford pleaded guilty to rape and murder at Sydney's Supreme Court. Psychologists described him as emotionless, incapable of reform, and at high risk of reoffending. On October 13, 2016, Vincent was sentenced to life imprisonment for murder and 15 years for aggravated rape, with no parole. The judge called it one of the most brutal cases, emphasizing the irreparable loss to Stephanie's family.
I am satisfied that this is a case of murder that clearly falls within the worst category. Mr. Stanford, would you stand up, please? For the aggravated sexual assault and the murder of Stephanie Claire Scott, you are convicted. Both of the sentence I impose will take effect from the 8th of April 2015. For the aggravated sexual assault, you are sentenced to imprisonment for 15 years. I decline to nominate a proportion of that sentence as a non-parole period, as there is no utility in doing so. For the murder of Stephanie Scott, you are sentenced to imprisonment for life.
At the trial, her mother, Marilyn, said Vincent was too cowardly to build his own life, so he stole another's.
We need to be able to fade from public view to mourn our beautiful girl and work our way through our grief. We will not be answering any questions, participating in any interviews or any programs in the future. Tomorrow we begin to celebrate Stephanie's too short, amazing life. This should be her 28th birthday, the second one we celebrate without her. We will be having a cup of tea and a mint slice biscuit at 3. So please join us. Thank you.
Stephanie's family called for reforming school hiring processes, demanding stricter background checks to protect students and teachers. They also reached a civil settlement with the New South Wales Education Department to prevent similar risks. Tragedy continued when, in 2016, Stephanie's father, Robert, died in a freak accident, crushed by a falling tree. He was laid to rest beside his daughter, doubling the family's grief. Aaron, Stephanie's fiancé, moved to Europe to start anew, and in 2020, he became engaged again, though Stephanie's memory lingered. Leeton held numerous memorials from releasing yellow balloons, her favorite color, to ceremonies celebrating her life. A book about the case highlighted her compassion and teaching passion. Leeton's mayor said Stephanie would be remembered as a symbol of kindness and dedication. Her family hoped people would live joyfully as Stephanie wished, letting music and happiness return to life. Please leave your comments and subscribe to our channel to motivate us to produce more videos. Thank you.